What point does the police department, all United States police departments, have to look at themselves and say, listen, we're going to have to restrain ourselves a bit?
I mean, that kind of behavior, openly beating a suspect with helicopters overhead, it's like a weird mix of hubris and arrogance, you know?
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah, I want the choppers to see this.
We got a beat down coming your way.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's really weird. And again, like you said earlier, is it that it's happening more, or is it that we're seeing it more? And I actually think it's both.
I agree.
I think that it started happening more, and so people started filming it more, and so it's been kind of a two-pronged operation. And thankfully, more and more people, Walter Scott, perfect example. If there was no video, nothing. There'd be nothing.
Yes.
And if all we had was the dash cam, it'd be even worse, because then it's just like, oh, look, he sat in his car for a couple minutes and then ran away. Yeah, and like you can see, like he gets out and he's like, he's like, you can tell he wanted to talk to the officer about something, and we'll never know how that conversation would have went. And that's it. Is that like video is really the dividing line between whether or not we see justice or whether or not we don't. And even if there is video, especially in the case of Kelly Thomas, doesn't mean there's going to be justice. It's kind of a crapshoot at this point. And it's like that's the thing that I've seen with the cases that I've dealt with the people that I'm dealing with that aren't even high-profile cases. They're completely off the media radar. But a lot of them, they just feel like they're being toyed around with, and none of these families want to go to trial. Nobody ever wants to go to trial. They do, and they get ready for trial, and they get all their depositions, and they get everything ready. But at the end of the day, most of them just settle. Is it
because they're being coerced and they're scared, or they think if I don't take the money, I'm not going to get anything at all out of this?
I think it's mostly the latter.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say it's direct coercion, because it's not like people show up at your door and like you drop the case, but it's like it's
implied.
It's a passive aggressive kind of coercion where they delay court dates and we're waiting for this signature, and now we need this signature, and it's going to be another 5 months, which was the case with I can't say too much. But yeah.
They're going to make the process as difficult as possible for you to be a part of for the duration.
Yes, we're going to make your life as difficult as possible between now and when we hand you that check. And if we're lucky, you'll die before we cut that check. Is essentially what it comes down to.
Well, here again, it's not like anybody, and I know you're not saying that all policemen are bad, and I'm not either, and I don't think the press is that's covering it. It's just that we've got a situation here that is real, and you and I were talking before the show because I said I want to know what's the mentality that has given rise to this. And in the post 9/11 world, we have just come to accept so much without question and just roll over and take it. And
well, then people have the audacity to say, get over 9/11, as if it's not still impacting our domestic and foreign policy on a minute-by-minute basis.
Oh, well, it has, and I think that also it's made people very cynical about how they approach things, which gets me to, and I want to ask you about this, because I also think this comes from the top down. I think that we've got such a lack of moral fiber in much of our government that the cops are like, well, hey, why do I have to play by the rules? Look at these guys, and look at the financial sector. Why do I have to play by the rules? They don't play by the rules, and it's just a lack of moral character that reflects downward, so nobody wants to play by the rules. Then you back that up by giving them all of these military armaments, which, if you look at these pictures, these don't look like cops. This looks like a science fiction film.
It looks like a standing army.
Yes.
Is what it looks like.
That's right.
And we were talking about this again earlier over food, and it's essentially, where did this all come from? Why do we have this situation that we're in? Why do we have to talk about police brutality? Why is police brutality a thing? And I think ultimately, my kind of big conclusion that I've drawn throughout all this is that a country's police force is representative of its country. As transparent and as honest as your country is, and as truly altruistic as it is, it's going to spill down into your police department. Iceland, You know, the police department has an Instagram account. What do they post on there? Pictures of kittens and cotton candy and police officers doing skateboard tricks. There's no police brutality in Iceland.